Okay.
Yeah, this one here.
Okay.
Well, okay, since you've seen it, I've added this one and this one, this one and this one.
Okay. Yes.
The Hessdalen Phenomena, as we call it now, was first named UFO. So everyone was talking about the UFO. It started in late 81 with huge lights, big lights, strong lights, moving in the valley, sometimes close to the houses. So we have stories from people who were sitting in their house and outside their window they saw strong light just passing by. The lights could be different. It can be a ball of yellow light. It can be yellow light with different shapes. And we have all other sizes as well. My name is Erling Strand and I'm just now the project manager of Project Hessdalen. My background, I got a university master degree at the Technical University in Trondheim. And I've been working in different companies, and one of the interests I have is to find out more about our world and the mysteries in our world. And that led me into, well, actually I was part of the team which started Project Hessdalen already back in 1983, a long time ago. And it was so fascinating. You have these lights, and that triggered me to continue. The Hessdalen Phenomena, as we call it now, was first named UFO. So everyone was talking about the UFO in the beginning, and mostly was seen as lights of all different shapes. And in the nature, you know, Hessdalen is a small valley. Rural. It's not only 100 people living in this 15 kilometers long valley, so it's not many people. But it started in late 81 with huge lights, big lights, strong lights, moving in the valley, sometimes close to the houses. So we have stories from people who were sitting in their house and outside their window they saw strong light just passing by. A lot of those stories. And the lights could be different. It can be a ball of yellow light. It can be yellow light with different shapes. The size can be, well, the biggest one we have recorded is about 10 meters in diameter. 10 meters in diameter, big one. And we have all other sizes as well. And the shapes, well, very often round or elliptical form, but we have also a lot of other strange shapes of this light. And it could be strong, as I mentioned, it could illuminate the ground beneath it. We do also have some stories from the day where they see the phenomena in the daytime, where they don't tell about a light. It's more like where they use the word object though. But we have focused mostly on the lights because that's the one we have most. And it's very easy to measure, and we have our equipment built for capturing the data from the light. But we also have something we call science camp, where we bring students out in the field, staying out in the field. Now it's 14 days, 2 times a year, where they're doing measurement, have a lot of instruments up on top of the mountain and look for the phenomena. And that's also what my students, or the students at the Hessdalen University College, are doing. Well, I think the students love it. They're so keen on taking part of real science, and we want to influence them. And they are clever. You know, if you are part of a activity research out in the field yourself, it do something with you. And we have been lucky because on every science camp we have run since 2002, in the beginning, 1 week though, the students were out 1 week in that period. There has been sightings and they're excited. And with also, there's a new way of teaching subjects, you know, maths and physics and so on. And we say that now you are helping scientists to get the real data needed to find a solution of what this is. So instead of, as an ordinary student, reading about what others have found out, how it is, now they're taking part of finding the data. And that is so exciting. And when you see something which no one knows what is, and you're out in the field, out in the mountains, and you see it, that do something with you. So the students are very satisfied. It's quite very popular to take part of it. Even if the conditions are not so, you have to stay in tents, when do you get the dinner, when do you, well, how do you, all that kind of stuff. They don't care. Most of them don't care. It's so exciting, and they want to be part of it, and that's very good. That's very good. We are looking forward to study. We're gathering a lot of data, and I will say interesting data. Hopefully, some of this data can make our steps towards a solution in the right direction. Hopefully, one time we'll find the answer, or the answers. We are not quite sure if it's always one answer, because the description of the sightings can be so different. You are talking about flashes, just short flashes, can be hard to see, and you have this ball of light, sometimes with different colors onto it. Sometimes smaller ball of light is coming out of this ball of light, and sometimes some other lights, small light, just go into the ball of light. And you have these different shapes, and you have also, we mustn't forget, the object that has been seen during the daytime. All these different sightings are so different, so it's hard to think of only one solution. Maybe several different things we are studying. Well, during our fieldworks, already back in 1984, when it was huge amount of sightings, you know, it was the big amount of sightings, up to 20 observations a week people were seeing. That was from late 81 to late 84. And during our first fieldwork in the winter of 1984, when we had the cabin powered from a local house some 100 meters away, and we discovered that we had some problems with the power, and sometimes the power went off from and we couldn't measure anything though, and then it come on again. And this happened not all the time, but now and then, and I got the impression that it happened when the phenomena was coming. So as if, was there some interaction? Well, we don't know if that has anything to do, but I got the impression that why did the power go off now, when the phenomena is coming? We need the power now to get the data. So this happens so many times. We got a lot of sightings, you know, so it happened quite a lot that the power went off. But it's too little to prove that it has anything connection. So we never got the opportunity to find if there was a connection there. Maybe I could mention, if we don't know, but I mentioned all different kind of sightings. There was a red light moving around our fields for a short period of time. Strong red light. And we hadn't the laser at location then, but those who were at location described this. It was as there was a laser. We brought the laser back to, we'll use the laser pointing towards the ground, because this was happening on the ground. So we pointed the laser beam down to the ground. It was snow then, and so it was strong, quite strong illuminating. And the local inhabitants who had never seen a laser before, they described it. It was just like that, although a little bit weaker. It looked like it was the same type of light. Well, I was one of those who started Project Hessdalen back in 1983. You know, when it started back in late 81, many newspapers, the press, television, radio talked about it and wrote about it. So, and it happened quite much. So I was one of those, all those people who was coming here during this period and wanted to see it for themselves. And I didn't expect to see anything. Well, if I was lucky, maybe I should see a small light in the mountains or something. But when I went out in the field, out in the mountains area, no one around, no roads, nothing, and then you see this big ball of light illuminating, coming and standing there, and it's move around, sometimes spotlight going down and up, and that was really exciting. And this continued for more than 1.5 hours before it just disappeared. And I was surprised how strong it was. At that time I was working as a research fellow at the big company, and I discussed with my research fellows about this, and well, they said, "Oh, this is UFO. You should not involve in that. That can ruin your career as a researcher. Be careful. Don't do it." And that triggered. Well, why? Why not? This is what researchers are for. We're going to find out of new, strange things. I cannot say that a researcher shouldn't involve because it has the word UFO. But that triggered me a little bit. And also I knew I'd been there. And also, so I seen it myself, so I knew there was a real phenomena on location. And then I read about all the writings in the newspaper, sometimes ridiculed those who have seen it. The local inhabitants, for instance, was ridiculed many times, and I reacted. How could that be? What are they thinking of? So I was a little bit upset about the situation, and everyone asked, why didn't that university do something? Why didn't that research establishment do something? If you realize, if you say, why don't they do something? Why don't they do something? Actually, 3 fingers are pointing back to yourself. Why don't you do something? And we said, yeah, why don't we do something? We cannot blame everyone else. Let's try. And we decided to start project, and it has been so exciting. It has been, during all these years, 35 years now, back from we started in 83, it has been so exciting all the time of trying to going out in the field, see the phenomena, and also at the same time when you have the equipment with your side, and you see also not only your eyes, but the instruments do something too. That trigger, that's exciting. So I think I have an exciting word. Where should I use my time on that? This is really exciting. So that's have kept me on. And also I wanted to get this subject accepted as a scientific field is something researchers should put their hand on, to try to find a solution. I have had old people talking to me about their experience when I was young, which they never told to anyone before, because they have been afraid of being ridiculed. But now they said, now I feel I can tell it because it's accepted as a real phenomenon now. And that made me thinking, oh, so you have been, that had been old people, 80 years old. And they kept it secret from when I was young. They didn't dare to tell. And I was thinking, oh, with that fear, what else happened in people's life which I don't dare to tell about? If we are more open to accept what people say and try to look into that as a scientific field, maybe, then we will probably be able to discover our real world better.